Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. My name is Doug DeLong, and I would like to thank you for attending this presentation. I want to start out by saying that this presentation is not a technical presentation. It is a very basic information presentation to introduce you to how computers work. If at any time during this presentation you feel that you already know the information or it's just not of value to you, then please feel free to get up and leave the classroom. Having said that, I would like to start by defining what a computer is. So in its least technical terms, it is basically any electronic device that is used to process information. So if you think about it, your phones are mini computers. Digital cameras are computers. They process information. But perhaps the most recognizable computers are laptops and desktops. Essentially, they're the makeup of both the laptops and the desktops are the same. They're just in different forms. So I have a laptop here, and I will explain its makeup, and then I will describe the makeup of the desktop. Now, as I'm describing this, you're going to hear me talk about inputs, outputs, processing, memory. So those are some of that's really the basic operating concept that computers use. So here on the laptop we have a screen, which is an actual output device. When you turn it on, it visually shows you what's going on inside the machine. We have a keyboard, which is keypad, which is attached and part of the laptop. We have a touchpad, which serves as your mouse. You can guide your cursor around the screen and click as needed. And then inside we have a CPU, which is the central processing unit. Every computer has a CPU. And so that's basically the makeup of a laptop. Now the desktop essentially has the output. It's more like a TV monitor. It's called a monitor. It's a separately attached piece of equipment. The CPU is a much bigger box. It is normally underneath the desk or on top of the desk. And the keyboard is a separate piece of equipment. And the mouse is separate. I also have a mouse here. This is what a mouse looks like. And the mouse can be used with the laptop or the desktop. So that's pretty much what a computer is and the makeup of it. So other inputs that you have might be the digital camera. Even though it's a computer, it can also be an input to a regular computer. And then you have scanners and other similar devices that are used to collect information into the computer. As I said, the processing unit, every computer has a processing unit, CPU, which processes it, and then output. The output can be to the screen or monitor. It can also be to a printer, which is another output device, or it can go to memory, either internal or external memory. So when you're dealing with computers, you also hear terms of hardware and software. The difference between hardware and software is basically any device that is attached to the computer is really the hardware, including the computer. So the mouse, keyboards, cameras, phones, printers, all of that are considered hardware. The software is actually code that's written in what they call languages, and they're usually written for a certain application to do a certain function. So, for instance, if you're into gaming, War of the Warcraft, those games are programs that are written, that's all software that can be loaded on your computer. So the the interface between the software and the hardware in computers is inside of the CPU. There is what a term called the BIOS, B-I-O-S, Basic Input Output System. And what that does is really controls all the general types of inputting and outputting that the computer will do, so that with the software doesn't have to rewrite all those basic tasks that all computers do. They will be done by the BIOS. So, in conclusion, that's what I had to present to you. If you think about computers, you should be thinking in terms of input, processing, output, and memory. Thank you for attending.